Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I'm Amy Hill of Sevens Crafts, and I'm here on the Altenew YouTube and Facebook channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes for a couple of people to pop on. While I'm waiting, I would love to know who is here. If you could please type your name into the chat and let me know where you're coming from. For myself, I'm coming from United States, and I am in the northeast corner of the United States. Oh, we got somebody from South Florida. My friend just went down there, and I'm sure it is beautiful weather. And hi, Joni and Kathy from Virginia. Also probably a lot better weather than we're having from here. Sue gets it because she's from Connecticut. We got another storm coming in. And Montana, so you get that one too. And Tanya from the UK, new here. Me too. This is actually my first time doing a live stream for Altenew, so I'm really, really excited about it. Oh, and Gwen coming in from Southern California, also probably a lot better weather than we're getting up here. But Cindy also gets it being from Montreal with the snowy weather coming in. And just to let you know, if you share this, I believe Altenew has a $15 gift card, so you can share it on your social media. And it's nice to see that there's so many people coming from so many different places, because Altenew has such a nice range of products and from all over the world, and Virginia as well. And Carol from Chico spent quite a bit of time over on the west coast of our country. It's beautiful over there. And Sue, it's nice to see you too. So I'm really, really excited to work with you guys today. And I am interested to know, have you sent holiday cards? Do you feel like you're finished with holiday cards? Do you have like a little bit, you're like, oh, I got just a couple more, or anything at all? So for me, I sent out a lot of holiday cards and I was able to get them done. Oh, we got a lot of people from, oh, Gwen, killing me with the 66 degrees, high of 70 today. Oh boy. Oh, and Sue, you sent all your cards out. That's great. This is a little bit one if you're like, Cindy, that's great. You sent yours out all too. That's wonderful. And what's nice is that we were able to, or I was able to, what we're doing today is we're going to do like a really, really super quick two for cards today. And Lydia is going to be helping us out today. So she's behind the Altenew badge. So say hello to Lydia. And she's going to be putting in some products. So our first thing, and I have to say that this is a great stamp set. And I think it came out in, now I can't find it for some reason. I think it came out last January, I want to say, which is the Warm Hug stamp set. That's this one right here. And it's a really, really adorable layering stamp set. And if you also have the Rose Blossom stamp set, there's this little outline that's in here that goes along with the Warm Hugs. And I'm going to use both of those today, along with the Dotted Diamonds. And we're going to use something called the second generation stamping technique, where we end up with one card that has like a nice, good, bold color, and our second card is nice and soft. And we're going to be pairing that around. So these sets are nice. And I always like to, you know, Altenew has such wonderful sets that are so timeless. And so I really like to use a lot of these up. So, so it's so nice to see you guys. Let me know if you have, like, I would love to know, what's your favorite Altenew set? What's the one that you reach for over and over and over again? And we are right at just about 3:30. So in about 1 minute, I'm going to turn my camera down to my a mat, and we'll see what's going on. But let me know what your favorite Altenew set is. I would love to know. And it's nice to see all these wonderful people. Hi, Darlene. It's nice to meet you too. Oh, it's great, Nancy. You mailed the last of the Christmas cards and Hanukkah cards. That's great. Oh, I know. I love all of the things that are Altenew. All right, so oh, pen sketch flowers. That one just came out. That is a beautiful set. And Lydia, Watercolor Wonders. Mine is definitely Peony Bouquet. That one I think is probably from 2017, but I still reach for it all the time. That's my Altenew set. And Tanya, you're new to Altenew. There's a lot to get out there. They're absolutely beautiful stamp sets. And again, they're just timeless and classic. So they're ones that I reach for a lot for all the time. Oh, and the Cardinals. Ooh. So I'm going to turn my camera down and let's see what we're going to be making today. And feel free if you got your stuff or if you want to grab these out and craft along, that would be super wonderful. But let's go ahead and get going. And Carol, yes, last month's tulips were beautiful, and bamboo rose. Those were wonderful. And still making cards. So Janine, if you're still making cards, these might be helpful then. All right, because we got 2 cards here. So these ones, you'll see we have this 2nd generation stamping technique. And what we have here is a card that has a lot of color to it. So it's a little bit of a bolder color. And this one actually just has this like really soft color to it. And we're also going to talk a little bit about how to like having this thread on here kind of help with balance of the design. So that's the other thing we're going to look at. So let's get started. So everything, of course, is going to start with the MISTI. Do you all have stamping platforms? I don't know what I would do without stamping platform. Oh, Joni, wallpaper art, such an awesome set. Such an awesome set. So what I did here is I preloaded these stamp set Dotted Diamonds. And the Dotted Diamond stamp set is this really, really big, beautiful patterned stamp. And it is an acrylic stamp, so you don't need to move anything out of your MISTI, but it is a really, really, really nice big stamp and a really, really nice background stamp. So what I'm going to do here with this technique, so what I've done already is I took my paper, and as you can tell, my masking paper, my masking tape didn't hold, but all I did was I just taped that down, and I just have a piece of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock to it. So this is nice and white. And I'm going to put this down. And I see a lot of you guys, for your favorite stamp sets, you're putting down so many florals. Hi, Kimberly. And so how about background stamps? Does anybody have like a favorite background stamp they have of Altenew? This one is a great one. I would say Diamond Pattern is a good one. There's even sets of background stamps. They have some really, really nice ones that have come out. This is the Red Cosmos ink set. And what I do, just a couple of things to, Altenew just came out with these little labels. These are really super great for your mini cubes, because if you're like me and you pop all the tops off and they've been like all over the place, then they get lost. But what I did is, you can see here, I put RC4. So this is Red Cosmos 4. So that way I know what the set goes. So this is the first one, the second one in the blending set, the third one in the blending set, and the fourth one in the blending set. And it just helps to remind me, because I am not good with remembering this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do with this stamp is I'm going to ink it all up. And I'm going to start out with Frosty Pink, which is the Red Cosmos #1. And I'm just going to go all over with this. And I buy minis. I see a lot of people out there. Watercolor dots, that's a beautiful one. And the Dotted Diamonds is a great background stamp. You can kind of do it like this, you'll see today with this little technique. It's really nice because you can get kind of an ombre or a different color effect by adding in some different kind of color. So all I did was I just put Frosty Pink all over that. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it. And this, of course, is the beauty of the MISTI, is that this stamp is going to stay, or the paper anyway, will hopefully stay in the same space. And you can see that that's really light, and that's okay. We're going to darken this up in just a second. So that's pretty light. So what I'm going to do now is all over this, I'm going to put a little bit more Frosty Pink, because that was a little too light for my liking. And then I'm going to take the other colors and I'm going to kind of randomly put them over my stamp. So I'm going to start out with the coral berry, and I'm going to go light to dark just to make sure that like my light doesn't get messed up or anything. So I'm just going to start just kind of randomly putting this over. I'm going for a different effect here. So this is the ruby red, which is 3. And then I'm going to go with the grapevine. And any place, like you can kind of tell, like any place where I like really didn't get anything, any ink down, I'm just going to kind of put this around. So what I have up here right now is I have all of my colors of ink. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to smush it down. Now I have right here another piece of paper that I'm going to have ready to go in just a second. So after I kind of smush this down, so you can see the nice dark transfer. And now I'm going to really quickly shove my other piece of paper in, and I'm going to use up all the rest of that ink. And as you know, with a stamp set like this, this is how we get our workout, right? This is how we get our workout with the MISTI, because this takes a lot of arm pressure here. Oh, Dainty Switch Dots, that's a wonderful set. That's an absolutely wonderful set. Oh, that one's great. All right, I want to know, how many of you guys like to do second generation stamping? It's always one of those techniques that I forget about. All right, so all I'm really trying to do is kind of really transfer as much of this ink as I possibly can onto here. So as I lift this up, all will be revealed, and you can see how nice and light that background is. So when I compare these two, you can see how dark this is and then versus how light this is. So we get this really, really nice soft look. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about second generation stamping? Is this like a technique that you use a lot? Is this a technique that you're like, oh, I forgot about this, but I knew about it? Or is this a technique that you are absolutely like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of this. This is the newest thing. Yeah, Kathy, love to use it when I'm missing one of the colors to do layers. Yes, that's true. It's a great way to get extra colors or other things that you need to have. So I'm just cleaning up my workspace. I really try to be kind of one of those people that tries to clean up as I go. I don't know how many of you are like that, but I try my best. I often fail, but I do try to clean up as I go. Oh, left Jody, yes. Loves second generation stamping. It's nice because I feel like, you know, there's so much ink in the ink colors here for Altenew. They are beautiful, and I love the fact that they come in, you know, these in these sets of 4, because I am not the best at color picking. So I'm really not the best at that. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take our backgrounds and we're going to kind of set these aside. This one I'm going to be using a little bit. This one I'm going to set aside for a second. So I'm going to put that one aside. So now I'm going to head over to our Warm Hug set. And that's this set right here. And this is a really cute little layering set. And I love the fact that there are layers to it and that you can make it your own by adding in that extra stamp from Rose Blossom, which I showed you at the beginning of this. So we're actually going to be adding in this little detail layer here from Rose Blossom. All right, so second generation stamping. Yeah, this is, it's one of those techniques that I like forget about. And I'm like, oh, when I see it, I'm like, oh, that actually looks pretty cool. But I really thought it was going to be neat with this. And what's cool is because you actually end up getting a twofer. And how many of you guys love to get twofers? Like I love to get a twofer card. Do you know what I mean by that? Like you're making something and then you cut off a piece and then you get a second card without really doing much. It's so good. All right, so I'm going to grab a piece of paper. And what I really need to know is where this is going to be lined up. So I'm going to take my warm hugs where I want it to end up on the card. Now notice that I have my second card here. And I'm going to line that up as best I can. And I'm just going to put some tape down to know. In fact, I'm going to be right at the 5. And I'm just putting some tape down to know that this is where I need to put my piece of paper back into so I don't mess it up as I go along. All right. So I'm going to pick my stamp up. Okay, I'm going to pull this out because that's my second generation card. And now I'm going to take a regular piece of white cardstock. Let me get back into the screen so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I'm just going to place it in. And I put a little 1 at the bottom just so I know which one's which, because I will mess things up. And so that's always kind of like my check as I move along. So because I'm kind of making some holiday cards, I'm going to use some traditional green and red colors. But what's nice is that you can really use any colors with this technique. So I'm going to use Green Valley. And I really like this color because this color set, because it has this beautiful dark mountain pine, but I love Firefly. I love this color here. It's like that nice liney, really like yellowy green, which I do. I think that's probably my favorite of them. So I'm going to take Firefly, and with Firefly, I'm going to go ahead and ink up this Warm Hugs. Now this is the background layer, which is so nice. Oh, hi, Carmen. Hello from Toronto. I hope everything's going up there in Canada going well. I know here in the northeast of the United States, we're going to be getting a pretty big rainstorm coming on Christmas Eve into Christmas. My husband's worried about us losing power for Christmas because that would just be 2020. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. And again, it's a little bit of a dark, it's a nice background stamp, so you got to put a little elbow grease into this. And I'm just going to transfer as much color as possible. Now, I still got some color on there, so I'm going to take my second generation stamp sheet, and I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to put that in again. And again, this is my second generation, so it's going to come out nice and light, but I still will be able to see it. Just see how beautiful that Green Valley is. Isn't that a great color for this, sorry, that Firefly for the Green Valley. So it's pretty light on there. So that's what I've said, like, you're going to have to really make sure that you know where all your pieces are lined up. It will be okay. We'll get it in there. All right, so I'm going to take this, wipe off my stamp, trying to clean as I go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab that outline. So this is from the Rose Blossom stamp set. So this is the Rose Blossom stamp set, and this is the outline image from that. And I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go ahead and do my best to line this up with this. All right, and then I'm going to grab that. And this time I'm actually going to use Obsidian Black ink. This one, does everybody have this, by the way? This is like the best one. Oh, Carmen, rain be snow. I know. Oh my gosh, Sue, yes. Been waiting for my last order to arrive. I got to tell you, United States Postal Service, they are backed up. There's no doubt about it. I went to the post office, I think it was a week or so ago, and I just turned right around and went back out because the line was like out the door. Couldn't believe it. All right, so you can see how nice and crisp and clear that is. So we're going to grab this, and then we're going to put ink in. Should end up right in the same place. So, okay, so now you can see how nice and that is in there. All right, so now we're going to go back to this, and now we're going to add our layers in with our second generation stamping. All right, so again, trying to clean off as I go. All right, so what's nice about this Warm Hug set is it has all of these other layers to it. And again, with the second generation stamping, I can see what I'm doing because it's darker, obviously. And the first one, it's very, very hard to see. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to, so you can see what these parts are, is there's one for the leaves and one for the bottom of the little cotton, or rather 2 for the leaves and 1 for the little pieces of cotton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp out my half of my leaves. So I think it's this one, in the second color of Green Valley. So the way this works is you just kind of move it around until you get it to where it goes. There we go. And I have to say, I am not the best at lining up stamps. How do you guys do with lining up stamps with the Altenew? Lydia, of course, is the master for this. Jamie, what do I clean my stamps off with? So what I am going to show this to you, and I'm so embarrassed to do so, but it just has to be done. I have a microfiber cloth here, which is very, very dirty, so no judgment here, but very, very dirty. And what I do is I actually just use water. I have a little bit of this Brutus Monroe cleaner, but water really just works better. And with the dye ink, you want to make sure you clean it up right away. The pigment ink doesn't really stain as much. And pigment ink, obviously, you can use a little solvent in order to get that off if you have that around. But it's not so bad. All right, so what we're going to do here. So this is Green Fields. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, I have a little hack on Altenew inks. And what I want to see here, or want to tell you, is that for the Altenew inks, what's really great about them is how you can layer them. There's like 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're in groups of 4 colors. And so I have put on here what it is. So it's number 2. And so this is Green Valley number 2. And then you'll see me use Green Valley number 3 in just a second. This just helps me so I know what order they happen to go into. All right. Oh, Sue, there's no way. I know, Sue, I wash mine like every once in a while. It's pretty infrequent, I gotta tell you. Down here. I did clean up for you all today, so, which is a good thing. All right, so that's gonna go right in here. Now I have my next sheet ready to go. And I just want to say how easy these are to line up, because I am about the worst person to line up Altenew stamps. I don't know how you are, but that's is. Yeah, thanks, Jamie. Dirty Ragged's beautiful cards. Yes. All right, but you can see how that's just coming out. I'll put it up a little bit closer. You can see how that's just coming out. Again, it's nice and delicate. All right, so we're going to put this in, and we're going to do our next layer, which is the bottom of the cotton flowers. All right, so here's my bottom of the cotton flowers. And I'm going to do my best here to line this up. And I got to tell you, I'm getting a little older, and I've lost my glasses, so I'm doing my best I can with what I got right now. I think this goes this way. Here we go. All right, that looks about right. There we go. I'd love to know, for your ink colors, how do you organize your ink? How do you organize your Altenew ink? How do you guys do that? Oh yes, and Kimberly, you are absolutely right. USPS, they are doing an amazing job with all of the volume, and I think it just goes to show how amazing they are and what an amazing job they are, kind of keeping our country running and keeping our country connected. Absolutely. All right, so you can see how nice and dark that is, and then we're going to go ahead and put it here again. And there is our second generation for that one. And now, last layer, we're going to go ahead and put this in. So let's wipe that off and put that in. Organized by color. I definitely need the bifocals. I'm getting there. All right, so this is going to be our last color, and we're going to use Mountain Pine, which is part of Green Valley. That's the 4th color in the Green Valley. And again, I'm going to do my best to line this up. This one, I have to say, relatively easy, that if I can do it, it's not so bad. So, oh, that's a good idea, the Tim Holtz Distress Tins for your mini inks. And in rainbow order. Yeah, I've been keeping them in the box they come in, I gotta tell you. And I go minis. I don't know. Do you guys, how do you weigh in on the debate of mini versus full ink pad? I'm curious. Because I went mini, I wasn't sure. All right, so let's go ahead, and now we got 2nd generation here. And we're gonna pick up that color and send it along. So I'm curious to know, mini or full ink pad? Which way do you go? Look how nice and soft that is. Isn't that just gorgeous? Beautiful and soft that is. So nice. All right, so that is going to end our stamping for right now. And Lydia, how am I doing on time? I'm not doing so bad, right? Lydia knows me. I talk a little bit too much sometimes. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put my Misty away. Yeah, Margaret, I love the minis too. I swear those are great, and you can get more, you know. Yes, and Jean, I'm with you. Like, you get the mini because you can get more of them. It's absolutely true. All right, so this is what we have right now. Is we have our background started with, and then this is our card that we had stamped. That's our 2nd generation stamping, and then we have our first card here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out Warm Hugs, and the best one to do that is using the Altenew Rounded Rectangles die, and of course, Mini Blossom. This little guy is super great. Obviously cannot take a full sheet of paper, so I'm going to cut this down a little bit, but really, really love Mini Blossom. Mini for storage, yeah. So I'm just going to cut this out so it fits a little bit better in my mini. But as I'm doing that, I see the mini versus full pad debate going on, and it looks like we're split a little bit on there. Lydia, what's your take? Are you mini or full, or are you full pad? Curious on that one. Mini's more cost effective. That's the way I go. You can get more. All right, so, and you can tell that I use my Mini Blossom. How many of you guys have this Mini Blossom? I use it a lot, as you can tell. Look at my B plate. It's terrible. And the fact that I can't actually put this on here. So I'm just going to cut this out. I'm trying to get as much as I can of it. And obviously I just use my tape just as a just in case, because with my luck, it will move around. Yeah, okay, that's true. All right, and that goes right through. So now I have this really, really nice piece that we're going to end up putting on our 1st generation card. So I wanted to talk a little bit just as a design element, and it's about space and kind of seeing things. So when you look at this card, you can see how you kind of have this blank space over to the side, and you're like, oh, I just need something to fill that in. But with this card, because there's so much going on in the background, it's a lot to do. So that comes in. You ready, Lydia? Here's another one. The thread. So I'm actually going to use the thread here in order to achieve balance on the card. I'm going to show you how I do that in just a second. But this thread set I have been using, I was like, they came out with it, and I was like, but now I'm like, I think I have used this on just about every card I've done. If you saw on my Instagram, I'm at Sevens Crafts, and I made a little polar bear spinner card with the thread. That was another great one that came in. Love that. So that's good. All right. So just to let you know, so now we're going to work on assembly. So this is what we're going to end up with. So we're going to take a moment, and I'm going to cut, use the, this is the Altenew Holiday Script Words. So Altenew Holiday Script Words. And I have to say, I I don't really buy a lot of stuff. I know my friends would be like, really? But I really don't. But I have to say these script word dies that Altenew has are great because they come in packages of 3. And the holiday one has Merry, Believe, and Wishes. And so we're going to use Believe and we're going to use Wishes right now for both of these cards. Now, I wanted to show you guys another thing because I have been, I bought this typewriter. I've been wanting one for a very, very long time. And I saw it randomly. Someone was selling it down the street from me. And it's a Smith Corona. I think it's from 1928. But what I've been doing is I've been using it for my sentiments. So if I'm like, I just don't have the right sentiments, I just type it on my typewriter and it looks as if I kind of stamped it. And so if you're asking me, oh, where did that sub-sentiment come from? It came from me in my typewriter. So I typed it out. This one says, wishes for a wonderful holiday. And it's so nice because you can use this. So I wanted to show you guys, and if we have time, which we may or may not, I wanted to show how you can use the same design, but just by swapping out the color pattern and the sub-sentiment, you can actually use this for a variety of occasions. And so I had already typed out things like wishes for a speedy recovery, wishes for a wonderful birthday, believe in your inner strength, and believe in yourself. And because I'm like, you know, these are, even though these are the holiday script dies, I feel like they can be used in a lot of different ways. So I just wanted to show you that. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to bring the mini blossom back in, and we're going to cut wishes and we're going to cut believe out of that, and then we'll start to put all of these back together. All right, so let's bring mini blossom back in. Love the mini. Love the mini. This mini blossom, I got to tell you, it was another one of those purchases that I'm like, really? Do I really need that? And then I got it, and I got to tell you, yes, the answer is yes, I do need it. I needed it, and I had it. I grabbed it when I could. All right, so what I have here is for the wishes, I have some black heavyweight cardstock. So that's going to fit right in here. So this is for wishes. So I'm just going to grab that and roll that through on here. So I'd love to know, for your die cutting machines, do you have a mini blossom? Are you a Gemini person? What's your... Oh, the Tim Holt Sidekick. My friend has that. She loves that. There's a cursive typewriter, Jamie? No way. That would be amazing and awesome. If I had a cursive typewriter, that would be awesome. You could also just use your computer. I just want to put that out because there's a ton of fonts out there that you could use. So you could just go and use your computer and just type out some different fonts to put in there. All right, so I'm taking wishes, and I apologize that I'm off camera, but not that you need to see me poking this through. But I'm taking, and I'm very, very carefully kind of poking wishes out because the dot over the I is separate. How many of you guys have spent time trying to find that dot over the I? It's probably the reason why I go with the word hello more than anything. All right, so here we go. So wishes comes right out somewhat. Here we go. So there's wishes, sans dot over the I. Nice and beautiful cursive. This is that holiday script font. Electric Big Shot since 2006. That is good. All right, I'm just going to grab another one because I wanted to stack these, because on my first one I didn't stack it, and I'm like, I wish I had. Love the Geminis. I just got that one, Spellbinder. Yeah. Just use a dumb marker to dot the I. I have to tell you, I think I've been in those spots where I don't know where that I goes, where the dot over that I goes. I have no idea sometimes. Cuttlebug at a yard sale for $2. That's awesome. All right, gonna pull this guy out again. Being very, very careful with that dot over the I, because that will be the bane of my existence on this. Popping this right out. And I like a nice heavyweight cardstock for these too. All right, so I like the wishes in black because I thought that that went well with the color combo I was using. Okay, got my dot. Yes, did not lose the dot. For Believe, what I'm using is just some like sparkle cardstock. You know how you always get cardstock sometimes and you're just like, I love this in the store. And then you're like, ah, what do I do? Oh, that's Lydia. I'm stealing that now using a black enamel dot for the eye. Yep, definitely. So this was literally, God knows when I purchased this. I've been paper crafting for like 20 years. It probably is that old. But I just grabbed some glitter cardstock. You could also just take a cardstock and just kind of spray it and it would work too. Spray it with some glitter spray, but I'm using the cardstock that I have. So this was totally from my stash. Again, Believe has a dot over the I. So we're going to be careful as we go along. And I'm just going to roll this through. Little die cutter is, I'm telling you, great. Oh, Cindy, thank you so much for coming in. I hope you get a chance to check out the replay and see us kind of putting these together. We have about 30 more minutes together, everybody. So I'm really so glad that you took some time out of your day to be with me today. And thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And just to let you guys know, this is my first time doing a live, and I am having a bunch of fun. So thank you for taking out your time on a Wednesday afternoon to be with me. I really appreciate it so, so much. All right, so I wanted to stack this Believe die cut, so I'm just going to do one more. I lost my gray cardstock. So I'm just going to do one more. Not out of the glitter, though, because that would be kind of crazy. But I did have some gray cardstock, but I can't find it. So I'm just going to use black right now because that's what I got right here. And put this in here. Absolutely. I would also love to know, for what you guys are doing, is anybody out there, are you planning, are you on break as we move along? Do you have a vacation? Are you planning on doing some crafting over the next week? Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate it. All right, so there's my Believe. So this is what I'm going to stack my die cut with, and I'm going to do that in just a second. In fact, I'm going to keep that in there because show you another little trick of mine. All right, so I'm going to put these together. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to start to assemble these cards. So I have all my little pieces kind of floating around over here, and I'm going to put those dies back on the magnetic sheet because that would also be something I will do. So one little trick, and I know you can't see this right now. Oh, staycation, yes to crafting. Oh, wow, Darlene. Finish an album from a trip this summer to Disney. That's so exciting. You got to go to Disney this summer. I heard it was so nice because of all of the, there wasn't so much, so many of the people around, but yet it was very safe. That's what I heard. Dot on the eye. So what I'm doing here, just to kind of help to keep it in place, I'm just taking some glue and just putting it around while it's still in the kind of in the negative space. And then I can take my Believe, which I'm going to pop out all of those little centers. On it. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this together and glue this in. How many of you guys have hurt yourself with the pokey tool? There we go. For myself, I am a teacher, and so I have a December vacation, and so I am planning on having some fun craft time. And in fact, I'm doing a class on Tuesday with Altenew, and we will be making some cards there, making some birthday cards. All right, so that's just an easy way to kind of get that in there. Oh, Lisa, yeah, nice. You're from Huntsville, Alabama. Also nice weather down there. I'm done with my Christmas cards, yep. Oh, Nouveau dots to replace my last title, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna take this, I'm gonna pop this out now. It's all, should be all set. And I love stacking die cuts. As much as tedious as it is, and here's my eye, can't lose this. Can't lose that. Dot over my eye. Okay, all right, so we got believe. Now I'm gonna put some wishes together, and then we're gonna go ahead and pop all of these in here, and then we'll see how it goes. And what I love about these, this card, again, it's a 2-for card, and I feel like an hour, you could probably even go a little bit faster, but I feel like you could get both of these done pretty quickly. Oh, that's a great idea, Gail. Senior women who are single. Valentine's. I know, I can't believe Valentine's is coming up so soon. Does anybody have some good New Year's plans? And this is why I love liquid glue, because you can just kind of force these things to get in there together. There we go. Close enough. Thanks, Gwen. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm usually a lot slower than this one. So Lydia will attest to that one. All right, so right now we have our sentiments all set, and I know you guys were worried, and I'm going to do my best, I promise here, to stack these little eye dots together. This is like the toughest thing in the world. And when you need glasses and you just are refusing to get a pair, that's the other part there too. Just trying to put these little eyes together. There we go. Okay, we're gonna set those aside for a second. I still have my eye dot, yes. So that's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these together. So let's go back to all of our pieces. So what I have, these are just the card fronts. So eventually these will go on the card bases. But let's start off with our 2nd generation one first. And so you can see we have this, like, it's really just this really super nice soft look. It really looks great. And so what I'm going to end up, because if I put the wishes on here, it's just too much. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this nice gray. And I feel like it just really looks great with the gray, because the gray is nice and soft. And the glitter from that, I think, gives a nice shine, and it gives a lot of detail. And I love texture on cards. I love having texture on there and different levels to things and different elements. And so it's really, really nice to see that as well. And so because this believe is stacked up, and because it is has a little bit of shine because of the glitter cardstock, that kind of helps it as well. And I got to tell you, because I didn't do such an awesome job at putting this die cut off, it has this like little black shadow to it that I just noticed. And that is one of those wonderful beneficial fails. And I cannot get the rest of this guy out here. Okay, that may just have to end up being in there. Ah, we got him. There we go. Goodbye. Okay, so he's already out. So you can see how nice that's going to stack up with this. But as I was saying before, there's a little bit of things on balance. Oh, from Austria. Lockdown for Christmas. Yeah. Definitely. It's I'm in Massachusetts, and we got a lot of stuff shut down for us as well. All right. Here. All right. So I'm just going to grab some gold thread. And what I do with the thread is I just turn my card over, and I just take a little bit of masking tape. And you can take a little bit of regular tape. Actually, let me take some regular tape. And I'm just going to put that down, and then I'm just going to stick my thread on it. So now my thread's stuck on one side. And all I'm going to do is just wrap this around. And I'm doing this as haphazardly as I possibly can, trying to twist it over to give it some interest. And again, it gives it that nice texture to it. And I think I wrapped it around like 4 or 5 times or so. And all those ones that are wrapped, I'm just going to stick it right on the tape. And then here's my final one. So then I'm going to go in with my scissors and just get that stuck down. There we go. So, oops, don't want that to drop off. So there we go. So now we're all stuck on it. And you can see how it just gives it some nice texture. I'm just going to take a moment just to kind of flip these around, make it look a little bit different, all kinds of stuff. So this is also going to help to anchor our believe. And so our believe isn't just like floating around in space. And so this is going to help us to anchor it. And I'm like, where do I want it to be? Kind of moving it around, put the thread in there. And so I'm going to take some glue, put it on the back of my believe, and go ahead and stick that onto my card. All right, as we go along. Okay, now, and that again, we're just going to anchor that there. Now for the toughest part, putting the dot over the eye. And there we go, that dot over the eye. All right, love the thread. Yes, this one is a good one. This again, there's like a couple of things that I'm like, I don't know if I'd ever buy it, but this one I really do. The thread has been something that's been a go-to for me, and I really, really love it. So you can see that's our believe card. It has this really super nice soft look to it. And I just love the way that the silver glitter paper just kind of really adds some shine and interest. And this thread just really helps to anchor it along. And again, very, very quick to put together. And so now when we move over to our other card, so this is the one we did with our first generation stamping. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put on the warm hugs piece. So I'm just going to grab some tape and just put this down. So how many, can you tell me, what was one thing you learned from today? I totally am curious to know. Actually, before I do that, let me put my thread on, because that's going to look kind of goofy. So I'm going to take some thread. I'm going to do the same thing that I had done before. Curious to know, is there anything that, or what's one thing that you learned today? All right, so again, I'm wrapping that around just as haphazardly as I possibly can. I always need cards to have like an element where, let's face it, this is not perfection. We're just kind of like putting these things together. All right, one last time. Yeah, I gotta tell you, that one I came up with because I had a huge problem not knowing where any of these colors, how they're supposed to go. So that was my solution to that one. So we had talked before about that balance. And so if I were just putting my little die cut on, it kind of needed something else there. And so by adding that thread, it just adds the balance to it. And so it gives something else. When we put the wishes in, you'll see how that will anchor down, but it just gives it a little bit of balance to there. Yeah, the second generation stamping, at least one other person keeps their stamps clean. Yes, we are in the group of clean stamps. I'm one of those people that I try to keep them as new as possible. Like red ink is the bane of my existence because I can't ever get it off stamps. It's hard. All right, so this is so we're just going to put this on here. And again, lots of great ideas today. I hope you learned something. I hope you picked something up today. That's always kind of my hope. All right, so there's wishes. So that goes right on there. Now, tricky part, I got on the dot of my eye. So just a little bit of glue here and put that dot on. All right, so here we go. Now my eye has a dot, somewhat of a dot on there. Awesome. I know, red ink, it's terrible. Oh yeah, the color labels, that's the way to go. I also have a, which I don't know what's over there. All right, so I have to put on one more thing, which is our sub-sentiment. And so what I have today is, we'll do believe in the magic of the season. So what I was showing you before is I cut a lot of my paper down to like card size so I can just grab it. And so I just literally did this where I just took that and the card size. So this is just Nina Solar White. And I just put it in my typewriter. And that way I can get whatever sub-sentiment I want to. If you don't have a typewriter, you can use your computer. And there's so many wonderful fonts out there to use. So you can use that as well. And this way you can get, and you can really kind of stretch all of your stuff. So I left it so it has length to it on both sides of my sentiment. So I can kind of figure out where I want to put it. And so I kind of like it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just kind of stick this down. And I'm realizing I need to cut this little segment off. So I'm going to put this right under my L. And then I just turn my card base over and just cut that little section off. There we go. And there we go. Now that's all set. So this is all ready. This card front's all ready to be put on the front of a card. And then for wishes, I did for a wonderful holiday. Sometimes I'll even go on to the Pinterest in order to get some ideas for sub-sentiments. I did a card for the Mini Delight Pretty City holiday, Pretty City release. And I just typed the sentiment on there because it was easier than, because I just couldn't find exactly what I wanted. So sometimes I do that as well. All right. So now we have both of these cards. We were able to put that together in just under 45 minutes. And now you have two great holiday cards that you can send out if you still need to. And it's a really great thing. Like I said, I love 2-for cards. And so I wanted to ask you, if you were going to do this and you were going to do let's say wishes for a wonderful birthday, what's a color that you would, that's my cat, by the way, who just came down to join us. What's a color family from Altenew that you would like to use? What do you think? If you had to pick a color, what would you like to use? So just to show you the finished cards that I have that are on card bases right here. Thank you so much, Stacy. I hope you like these cards. I hope that they're really easy to put together. They are cards that are they're really simple cards that you can do and so easy to put together. And I was actually thinking of 4 scoops. That's a card set, or sorry, an ink set that comes with peach, pink, like a little bit of a dark yellow and a chocolate, which would really make it for a nice base with this dotted diamonds. And it's something that's a little bit different that would be really great. And I think I would like to try this right now if you wanted to hang out with me and we could just look at the background. And then I was also thinking that for a birthday card, what would be beautiful is the lapis lazuli set. I think this is honestly my favorite blue set. And I love the enchanted garden set that's this really beautiful purple, and using these kind of analogous colors that are both blue and purple together, I think would be beautiful. Like to have this as a blue background and then to have the warm hugs in all kinds of colors of purple would be beautiful too, I think. Those would be great. But I wanted to take a moment, just if you will indulge me, to go back to the Misty. Where the heck I put that? Oh, here it is. And I wanted to take a look at 4 scoops and see how that came out with our background. So I'm going to take our tape and stick it in here again as best I can. See if it stays. And I'm going to go back and grab that Dotted Diamonds background. So this is the background stamp that we started with today. And I think that this would look really cool with really like any of those really large background stamps that Altenew has. You could really do this technique with them. So I'm going to take my 4 scoops and I'm going to start with the lightest color in here. And that lightest color I have down as Cotton Candy. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of ink it up all over here. These background stamps definitely make you think that you should have purchased the larger ink sets, honestly. So let me get that down. Just a pretty color. All right, so I'm going to do the same technique that I did before, and I'm going to take a moment and grab all these colors. I'm going to start with Mango Smoothie, and again, I'm just randomly kind of putting them all around on my stamp. And here's Peach Perfect. You could also spritz this with water to get it going a little bit. And here's my dark chocolate. So again, I'm just kind of pouncing this in random places. I always kind of put that pink down just in case if I like miss a spot, the pink's already there. So I don't have to, or that first color's already there. So I don't have to worry about it. All right, so here we go. Here's my workout for the day. Getting this ink down and seeing how this looks. Now, if you'll oblige me, I'm just going to grab a piece of paper just in case. Oh, that looks super nice. I'm going to, give me 1 second. I'm going to throw this in here just to grab the extra ink. Look at that. That is so cool. That is so pretty. You can see like the pink and the peach and the yellow, and I'm so sorry that my my video camera is not totally picking up all those other bright colors. So if you were going to do this, what would be the other color? What would you put warm hugs in with? What would be the color you would add in? Would you go more like blues, or would you go more like oranges and peaches, or would you go pinks? What do you think your color would be? Or you might just go 4 scoops. Yeah, this one 4 scoops is like, yeah, I think the peaches. I'm with you, Sue. I'm almost thinking peaches would be good. But I'm with you with the blues. Like the blue would just be really pretty here, just to kind of offset those neutrals. Yeah, pinks, aqua blues. That's a good one. Yeah, blues. And you can just see with this Warm Hugs stamp set how you can like, it's so pretty and sets off everything so nicely. So I think that that would go perfectly in here. Ooh, oranges. Yeah, that would be nice. If you were going to make this into a birthday card, those oranges would be so cool with all of these. So neat. Well, I am encouraged. I hope that you guys take a moment. I'm going to, Lydia, we are just at time, right? For this? with about 5 minutes. Oh, and look, you can even see my cat. We're sitting on top of my thing. So I wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us today. Lydia, just again, and a huge thank you to Lydia for being behind the badge, behind the Altenew badge. And I hope that you were able to pick up some techniques and some tips today. And if you don't already, you can also do this kind of a thing with a lot of different stamps. So look around at what you have, see what background stamps that you have, and see what you have that you can do some second generation stamping with. And I think that that would be great. And again, I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and that it's something. I forgot to wear my festive glasses for you all today. So I hope that you have a wonderful holiday, and that you enjoy some time in your craft room. So thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. And thank you for sharing. Thank you, Jane. This was my first live, so I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate that you guys are with me today, and that you were able to pull away some techniques and pull away some ideas that will help you as you stamp. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate the time that you had to spend with me today. And I hope that you guys learned, again, some techniques. One of those really great things of the labeling your stamps, and for second generation stamping. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Nancy. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Gwen. And again, take some time, try to see what you can do with some second generation stamping. All right. Thank you guys so much. Bye, everybody.